Check out the new Like a Dog shirt sticker pack right now. 3 stickers, a shirt, and a postcard on sale now at friendomarket.com. Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw Mat Chat, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson. And it's the very special edition of Going In Raw. It's the Mat Chat edition where we solicit video questions. And do we have text questions today?
None, all videos.
All video questions today at the $20 a month mark on Patreon, the reward tier, $20. You too can participate in Mat Chat. Get your video question or text question if you don't feel like being on videos. Right here on the show, we will answer your question each and every week. It's a lot of fun. I love it. We get to see the wide variety of friendos we have out there, all with their great, interesting, and debatable questions.
Yes.
Fodder for debate.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Thought-provoking.
Thought-provoking. Thank you very much. We're also available in the audio realm, wherever fine audio podcasts can be found. If you want to help support Going In Raw, a great way to do that is by subscribing to Going In Raw using whatever podcast app you have, leaving us a rating, a comment, or a review. Like I said, we're also on the Patreon, but we don't just have the $20 tier. We have a wide variety of tiers, starting from $1, where you can get this show ad-free.
We have 5 tiers.
So I've seen a hair.
5
tiers. 5 tiers. Is that including the ridiculous tier that doesn't even exist? 6 tiers.
Well, okay. It does exist.
And it's the $200,000 tier. I don't think that's even possible. And we're also at friendomarket.com. We've got a bunch of shirts there, shirts and sticker packs. More to come.
Yeah.
Anyways,
let's get to it, Steve.
We got a lot of great questions
We have a lot
today.
of great questions today. Let's get right to it first from Christian. Oh, he's at work.
He's at work. Shh.
Christian. Let's see what Christian has to say.
Hey, friendos. It's the Hall of Famer Christian here with the Mat Chat question at my job. I'm rushing because it is literally 1:59 Pacific. My question to you guys is, what is the money match? Charlotte Ronda or Becky Ronda? Two sweet hearty handshake.
Thank you, Christian.
Thank you, Christian.
All right. Who goes first?
You can go first.
All right.
It's customary that you go first for the first question.
So, right now, at this point, I believe that whether or not Becky going heel, whether or not that would have turned the crowd against her or not, I think they still would have run with her as champion regardless. I'm not sure it was ever in the plans for Charlotte to get that title back anytime soon. However, if Ronda versus Charlotte was the money matchup before now, and I think it was, at the very least, they need to be rethinking this, because I have a feeling Becky is going to be so hot. She is just getting started with this new sort of turn in her character. The fans are so hardcore behind her. This is going to be the kind of situation where the fans are going to boo anything that even comes close to taking Becky Lynch out of the spotlight. They're going to boo Ronda at Survivor Series. That's a guarantee. If they move Charlotte over to Raw and have her face Ronda Rousey, whatever, Becky Lynch will probably take on Charlotte, and the crowd will be behind that. WWE will probably try to build in terms of, like, you know, the what they view as their women's main event as Ronda Charlotte, because that's maybe where they just do things they want to do. Crowd be damned. But people are going to gravitate more towards whatever Becky Lynch is doing. So, I mean, WWE might think the money's in Ronda Charlotte, but it's with Becky Lynch. Everybody,
it doesn't matter what we think, Steve. It doesn't matter what we think. WWE tells us what to think. They say Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey is the money match, therefore we have to think it's the money match. That's apparently WWE logic, given what's happened over the last few weeks, that if they say this is fine, then we're supposed to be cool with it.
Yeah. Boy, you grew that beard back quick.
Yeah.
That came in thick.
Yeah, it really did, didn't
Very
it?
fast.
Yeah.
Because you just trimmed it 2 days ago.
It's all beard relaxant. Here's the thing. I won't say it's a guarantee Charlotte's going to win this Women's Rumble this year and face Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania, potentially in the main event. But if I were a betting man, which at times I am, I would bet not a large sum of money, but a decent sum of money, somewhere between $10 and $55 that would be on the card, and I would bet more towards 10 to 20 that would be in the main event.
That is an oddly specific number.
Well, like I said, I'm not a betting man.
Yeah.
I have my limits.
Yeah. 55 is exactly your limit.
That's the most I'll bet on anything.
Oh, interesting.
$55.
Never knew that about you. I've known you for a very long time.
That's the most I'll bet on anything.
You know what I love right now? You smell like coffee, and coffee combined with the beard, it's making you just extra right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oops.
I don't know extra what, just extra.
Oops.
The whole presentation.
I know.
It's great. I love it, man.
I'm just like sipping on coffee because I didn't sleep much last night.
I love it. You look like $1 million.
I don't feel like $1 million. Anyway, so they got this thing going with Charlotte now where she's lost to Becky several times in a row. Paige said to her, hey, do you want to be captain of Survivor Series Team SmackDown? She says, no, I'm not the woman for the role. Charlotte's got a storyline brewing here, potentially a crisis confidence type thing. Mm-hmm. How do you get that confidence back? Start putting some wins together. Build some momentum. Win the Rumble. Go on to main event WrestleMania against Ronda Rousey. There's a story there where on a separate brand away from Becky Lynch on SmackDown, they could rebuild Charlotte either as a heel or a face. Hell, just turn her heel now because they're not going to turn Ronda Rousey heel. Turn Charlotte heel or tweener or something. There's money to be made from Ronda versus Charlotte. Charlotte, as Becky Lynch said, she is the most decorated woman currently in WWE. You know, if you're just counting WWE titles.
Does it matter that Charlotte would lose to Ronda?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
You can do a crisis of confidence and still lose in the end and be
okay.
Okay?
If you put forth a good fight.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's the process. It's the process of putting some wins together. It's the process of winning the Rumbles.
Yeah. You're right. I think you're right. It's funny, though, because
Charlotte's beyond a coronation moment at this point. She's so well established.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny, though, because like if her crisis of confidence started with a really, really, really strong loss against Becky Lynch, and it's going to end her finding herself with a really, really, really strong loss.
I mean, narratively,
that's WWE logic.
Narratively, it's not the most moving of storylines. I agree, but that's WWE logic. Again, they say this is a money match, so I guess it's a money match. I don't know.
So I understand that the other two horsewomen that just got started, Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir, aren't close to being ready, but I mean, Shane is there. You could do something screwy either at Survivor Series or at Mania to sort of, I don't know.
There's a lot of moving pieces, and Shayna is kind of integral to a lot of it.
Yeah.
And how they proceed going forward. I would suspect at this point, since Marina and Jessamine don't seem quite ready for prime time yet, any sort of 4 horsemen versus 4 horsewomen thing they're going to do is going to be postponed until next year at some point. Probably next Survivor Series.
They could take some more. They've already taken baby steps.
Take plenty of time.
Yeah.
Let all of these stories going on between all the NXT WWE 4 horsewomen play themselves out. Same with MMA 4 horsewomen. They got plenty of time for them to collide.
Devin the Dude's up next. He's got another question about Ronda Rousey this time.
Hey friendos, it's Devin the Dude here, back with new accessories now from WWE Evolution. Great show, amazing. All the fans, if you ever get a chance, check the live feed. If you go to YouTube, look up the live entrances, and when I tell you, the roof was blown off when Becky won and everything like that. It was amazing. That brings me to my question. Is this the most important 3 weeks of Ronda Rousey's young career? Because Monday is going to be the most telling of all. If the crowd boos Ronda to a heavy degree like they do Charlotte, will she get rattled? This could be interesting. And how will the people in the back react to this if this continues? And the last question I guess I would have is, could all this momentum for Becky with the fans and everything like that, could this continue and literally push her to the main event of WrestleMania if this gets even bigger? Because it looks like it's getting worse. Or great for Becky, that is. She is the man. All right. Thank you, friendos, and stay strong, brothers.
Thank you, Devin the Dude.
Thank you, Devin the Dude.
Oh, I got to go first. No. I feel like the most important 3 weeks of Ronda's career was Mania in the 3 weeks that preceded it. There was a lot of buzz around here coming to WWE. She was an untested, unknown competitor, and if her match at WrestleMania had gone south, it could have torpedoed whatever plans they had for her real quick because the crowd may not have been behind her. However, she delivered incredibly well at WrestleMania, putting to rest pretty much any doubts whether she could hang in the WWE as a professional wrestler. And I think since then, anybody that had any lingering doubts have been more or less been squashed. She's comported herself really well in WWE ring. She's put on relatively entertaining matches, some pretty darn entertaining ones. And I know that she will face an uphill battle against Becky at Survivor Series. However, if we've seen WWE do anything, it's just to push on through. It'll be a minor blip in Ronda's push as top face on Raw. They'll just have the match happen. She'll get booed. Becky will get cheered. Next night on Raw, it won't be mentioned. They'll probably dub over cheers. And they'll retcon the entire thing. Yeah. Revisionist history. It won't matter. They'll just push on through.
They're very shameless about it.
But once she's proved herself that she can hang in the ring, then I think that was the largest hurdle she had to face, and I think she handled that fine.
This is absolutely the most important 3 weeks of Ronda's career. Absolutely. I'll tell you why WrestleMania wasn't. It was because, number one, a couple of reasons. Number one, expectations were so low that just to go in there and do a serviceable job, which she did more than, just to do a serviceable job would have been met with accolades. Number two, she had so much around her, given it time to prepare, given it practicing that match over and over again. You're in there with Triple H, maybe the guy. If you're ever to be in a match, you don't know what you're doing, Triple H would be the guy who you'd want in that ring with you. You got Triple H, you got Stephanie in there with you, and you got Kurt Angle in there with you. So that is just like we used to talk about Braun's Power Slam with Kurt Angle, I think it was, how it was like big giant pillows around a man. That was the perfect scenario to ensure guaranteed success. All she had to do was meet expectations. I think she beat those expectations fairly easily. I think that in the subsequent months, she's done a fantastic job of continuing to beat those expectations. We've seen her on the mic for extended, protracted periods of time. She's getting her timing down. It's absolutely great these days. And so right now, yes, this is it, man, because up until now, the WWE Universe has been on her side completely. The WWE can do what they want, but in terms of for Ronda, having that crowd, and I know she's been in the UFC, so she's used to people, she's used to large crowds behaving as they will, being on her side or not being on her side. Although if I remember correctly, during the UFC, I used to watch all of her matches, and I seem to remember the crowd kind of just being on board the Ronda train at the time. So that crowd, especially the momentum that Becky Lynch has right now, that could potentially be the one thing to rattle her into forgetting lines, into forgetting spots. There's any number of things. And granted, Becky's the one in the women's division, the one person you want to be in there facing off. If it was Charlotte, that's a completely different story because nobody, even if Charlotte as a heel didn't get the same kind of love that Becky got as a heel. And so I don't get, Becky could be Becky could be in the ring with the Undisputed Era, and they would get booed against Becky. Becky is the most loved thing in sports entertainment right now, bar none. And that could rattle a person who is now kind of out there, left to their own devices, out there on their own. So, yeah, I absolutely think it's the most important 3 weeks of Ronda's career. She has never faced the potential backlash that she might get at this point. Next up, we've got the Freak Legion.
Delete.
And Delete.
Freak of Destruction. Delete.
That's right. Let's see what Delete has to say.
What's up, Stephen Larson? It's your boy, Delete, the Freak of Destruction, here with the Freak Legion, Loki Richards, Buddy Love there. My Matt Chat question this week is, out of All-time wrestling in WWE. What is the greatest women's match ever? Is it Mickie James versus Trish Stratus at WrestleMania? Is it Sasha Banks versus Bayley? Is it Sasha Banks versus Charlotte? A lot to choose from. Should be a good debate. Too sweet. Hearty handshake.
Thank you, Delete.
Thank you, Delete. There is zero debate here to be had. It is Sasha versus Bayley at TakeOver Brooklyn 1.
We should one caveat. We're not well versed, and we need to become versed in the work of like Manami Toyota.
Well, he said specifically WWE.
Oh, the WWE. Okay, then there's no argument. It's Sasha versus Bayley,
Right,
NXT Takeover Brooklyn 1.
Yeah.
The level of storytelling, performance, emotion, psychology in that match is incredible, off the charts. It still might be my favorite NXT match ever. It's exceptional.
I'll have to give it some more time. You know, the one match that I still haven't seen that I need to see.
Asuka and Nikki Cross.
Yeah,
It's good.
how does that measure? How did that match measure? Because that was also a last man standing, I think, wasn't it? Or
Yeah.
Was it Falls?
It was last woman standing, yeah.
That was last woman standing. How did that measure up against Becky Charlotte? Because,
Becky Charlotte they gave that more time. I thought Becky and Charlotte was better. It was a really Asuka Nikki Cross, the last woman standing match, was a really, really good NXT TV match. And it would have been a pretty good takeover match.
Yeah. Because I'd put Becky Charlotte in the top 5 of WWE women's matches, probably of all time, because holy crap, that was a fantastic match.
It was great.
The lengths they went to was absolutely fantastic.
Heck yes.
But no, nothing for me will beat Sasha versus Bayley. I think
It's phenomenal.
You had a combination of their characters' roles in NXT lore, their relationship with each other. Yeah, it was just absolutely. It was fantastic. Also from the Freak Legion, Loki, he's got a question about Charlotte.
Hello, Stephen Larson. Loki Richie here, the Freak of Flight with my fellow freaks, the Freak of Love, and the Freak of Destruction. We have a match cap question for you today, and that is, we had a friend once tell us that Charlotte Flair is the female Roman Reigns. She's only there because of her dad, and she doesn't deserve the spot that she's in. So we want you to debate that for us. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Loki.
Thank you, Loki. Once again, no debate to be had. Charlotte completely. If Charlotte, here's the thing. A case could be made that Flair blood simply has what it takes in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because she, from seemingly the moment she started, she was gifted in the world of pro wrestling. She really was.
What did we say the other week? I don't know if it was last week's show or the week prior. That connections, your name can be open the door for you.
Yeah, sure.
But if you don't walk through it and you don't deliver, no one in the end is going to care what your last
There
name is.
has been
Look at Eric
a
Watts.
ton.
All right,
That's
look up
where you go.
Look up
Nice.
Eric Watts.
Yeah, that's
He was
good.
Bill Watts' kid. He was gifted a plum spot.
Yeah.
He couldn't wrestle a lick. Didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
If you can't deliver, it doesn't matter.
There's any number of examples in addition to Eric Watts where, guys would try to get their kids in.
Yep.
And a whole lot of nothing happens.
Yep.
Charlotte Flair could have been just another one. Here's a name for you, David Flair.
Yeah.
What
What about Bischoff's kid? Was he any good?
I think there were fans of his.
All
I
right.
think people
All
had. I think he had fans. I don't know why he didn't continue to do anything.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But David Flair is one of those guys who, when he was in WCW, granted he did what he did,
Yeah. He was given every opportunity to succeed.
but it was just it was obvious. I'll put it this way with David Flair, and that's beyond the obvious. It would have been interesting if Reed was sort of the heir apparent to Ric Flair. It obviously wasn't David Flair. And if Rick's name was worth so much that it got Charlotte to where she is now.
And then David Flair should have been like a multi-time WCW champion.
Right. Exactly. So, no. No. Anybody who says that is completely ridiculous. It opened a door. Sure, I guess.
Yeah. But if you don't deliver once you get through that door.
But, man,
doesn't
she
matter.
delivered. Because it was Charlotte versus, was it Charlotte Sasha that Vince saw? Allegedly,
and was convinced of the drawing power of women's wrestling.
Yeah. I mean that he's not. Yeah. No, man. You look at Charlotte. she's a star in pro wrestling. She'd have been a star if her last name was
Smith. Jones.
I was going to say Smith too.
Next up, AO Worm. See what AO Worm has to say.
What's good, friendo? It's your boy AO Worm here on the Match Act question. All right, Steve Larson, which pay-per-view was better, WWE Evolution or TNA's Knockout Knockdown 2013, which was their first all-female pay-per-view? Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you do your research. Too sweet, hearty handshake, shoulder lean. Catch you guys later.
Thank you, AO Worm.
Thank you, AO Worm.
So, about doing all this research.
Really, so we would basically have to get the Global Wrestling Network and then find this pay-per-view.
And then find 2 hours to watch it. But that's not to say we didn't look into it all. We both looked at the card. I looked up a couple of reviews.
Yeah.
It seems like the reviews for Knockdown 2013 were good to decent.
I think I've actually seen the main event.
Oh, yeah?
I think I have, because I was like on Pluto TV, and they got that. Yeah, and I think it was airing there months ago, and I came across this. Or maybe it was on the Global Wrestling Network Moment of the Week on an episode of Impact recently.
Could be.
In any event, it looked very lively.
Yeah.
It looked cool, don't get me wrong. But there was so much talent at Evolution that I think is probably
the praise for Evolution was near universal.
Yeah.
And like I said, I read some reviews, and it was good to decent, the reviews for the show.
Sure.
So I don't have firsthand experience watching Knockdown 2013. However, because of that, I'll take other people's word.
Yeah.
And I've seen Evolution. I enjoyed it. I thought it was very good. I'll say Evolution.
It was very good to great, as
Yes.
opposed to this, which was decent to good.
Yes.
Okay, so there you go. Thank you, AO Worm.
Thank you, AO Worm.
Yeah, if just a word of advice to our Matt Chat Hall of Famer AO Worm, and by the way, one of my favorite people in the Friendoverse, because he is such a hell of a mod there in the Friendoverse.
Yes, he's great.
We generally look at these questions about an hour before we film, so chances are we're not going to do a lot of research.
Yeah.
Just
unfortunately,
saying.
it's
I
just
love
the
you, though,
nature.
man.
Yes.
I think you're great.
It's just the nature of how we have to do the show.
He's got that cute little baby now.
Yeah.
This guy, he's in a new father. That's the best. But not going to watch that.
Next up, Thayer Thabata. See what Thayer has to say.
Hey guys, the Friendoverse would like to know who should be the top guy in Roman Reigns' absence, Braun Strowman or Drew McIntyre? Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Thayer Thabata.
Thank you,
And
Thayer.
thank you, Friendoverse.
Yes,
for
thank you very
voting
much.
on this very, very important question.
It's Drew. Drew. I know Braun has been Plan B for seemingly a year and a half.
Yeah.
But,
Oh.
man, you know what Leo Rush says about Bobby Lashley? Looks like money.
Smells like money.
That's Drew McIntyre, too.
He's actually talking about Bobby Lashley.
I know, but Drew, yes, as well. He looks like money. You look at him. He is man.
Yeah.
He is jacked.
Jack Daddy.
He's got all the personality in the world.
True.
Tons of charisma.
True.
And he does, in terms of his character work, a lot with so little. You know, when he first got brought up to Maine, there was one match. I forgot who it was against. Dolph against somebody. And Drew was just circling the ringside area. And just the way he would reach out and grab onto the ropes.
Yeah.
Do little gestures like that with such like a sinisterness behind every one of his sinisterness word. Probably not.
It shouldn't be, but there is no. I can't think of a adverb.
Whatever kind of word that is. I've taken English class in like
Play.
23 years. Yes.
Play.
Yes. Everything about him was so sinister, even down to his little movements. It was impressive. Drew's just the man. He's versatile. We've seen him work face in NXT.
Becky Lynch is the man.
Okay, sorry. We see him work face in NXT. Great. His heel work on Raw has been great.
Yeah.
He's a better in-ring worker than Braun. Character work, just as good, if not better. My worry with Braun, as we've kind of seen already a little bit, is since he's so large and formidable, that they'll mess with his character unnecessarily just to fit in whatever feud they want to have going, like a Big Show situation. Because in the last 3 months he's gone from face to heel to face. Granted, some circumstances.
Well, that was necessity.
I understand, but I'm saying that's my worry with him. Is that they see him as just this large guy, and not really get to what really connects him with the fans.
Do you know why Big Show, in the end, ended up with the Big Show career? Because Big Show was wrestling's version of Shaquille O'Neal. Apropos, because they were always supposed to have a match against each other. Because there were multiple times when you would hear about, either over the 2 decades, when you would hear about attitude problems, motivation, ambition. He would let himself go. He was fat. He went from fat to skinny. He went from, my God, he's let himself go, to, wow, he's been in the gym more times than he changed face and heel. That's why Big Show is Big Show. Braun Strowman, I don't believe, is at risk of having a Big Show type career, because he seems so humble, eager to learn, eager to take that, to take the ball and run with it, with whatever they give him. He is constantly, time after time, in this short span of time, proven himself to be the guy that you want at the top. I'm not taking anything away from Drew. I think Drew is fantastic.
He's the best.
Everything you said. But I have bad news for you. Drew is plan C, maybe even plan D, E, or F, depending on what they want to do with Seth or Finn.
Oh, Finn's not even in the top half of the alphabet.
Yeah, Lashley.
I don't think he's in top half of the alphabet either.
Elias.
Well, he's down in like the WXYZs.
But Braun, with a capital B, is their plan B. They are going to run with him regardless of what we want. And I am anxious to see. I think perception is a lot. And Big Show, the fact that he came into WWE, took him a little while to really, after a hot start, took him a while to get his sort of wheels under him, his legs under him, whatever the phrase is. Braun, you give him that Universal title, show the people that he is the man. Sorry, Becky Lynch is the man. That he is the guy.
Well, Roman Reigns is the guy.
Damn it. That he is
The
the
monster.
big dog, the monster. And then watch the dude. You've seen him, and I'm not saying Drew can't do this stuff. You've seen him.
Drew can do anything.
In media appearances.
Drew can do that.
He's going to be in a movie.
Drew can do that.
Has he?
I don't know, but he
Nope.
can.
Braun, he's going to hit everything out of the park. He's a once-in-a-generation. Here's the thing about Drew. Yeah, he's a big guy, but Braun is a once-in-a-generation type big man who can do some really cool stuff in the ring, and we haven't even seen they haven't even scratched the surface of his actual personality. He's like freaking stone cold, wrapped up in a giant big monster guy. That's his ceiling right
we'll
there.
see about that.
And that's all the money.
Let's see if he ever achieves that ceiling.
All
however.
the money. It ain't up to, hey, if WWE lets him, he will. He'll do it.
Next from Zach S. It's a great question.
This is a great question.
This is a fantastic question.
It really is a great question.
Let's see what Zach S. has to say.
Once again, Stephen Larson, many friend knows out there. It is your Match Chat Hall of Famer, Zach S. Coming at you with another Match Chat question. Question this week is, Stephen Larson, I want each of you to come up with your own NXT Wrestling Mount Rushmore. Who would be in the NXT Mount Rushmore? Which 4 superstars, male or female? Thanks, boys.
Thank you, Zach S.
Thank you, Zach S. I go first.
Yeah.
Ours are actually similar with one exception, and which makes mine better, actually. Mine is Tommaso Ciampa, because right now, look, I mean, we could have put, I guess, 4 little faces, the Undisputed Era, up there. But I feel like Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano is a next level, once-in-a-generation feud. It really is. I think it's NXT's. I think in 5 years, people are going to look back on this and see it as NXT's defining feud.
Yep. And the motor behind that is Tommaso Ciampa.
As much as I love Gargano, it's Ciampa. It is absolutely Ciampa.
Yep.
So he goes on there. Longest reigning NXT champion ever, Finn Balor. Finn sort of ushered in the era of guys like Shinsuke, Samoa Joe, so on and so forth. Who came after? Oh, and then Bobby Roode, and then Almas.
Well, Kevin Owens, too. Was Kevin Owens there before? Kevin Owens was there before Finn.
He was
wasn't
there
he?
before Finn, yeah. Who did Finn take that title off of? Owens?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So Finn is the guy who launched NXT into the era that we're sort of in now, when it's got a much bigger following. After that, it's Asuka. Iconic, just iconic NXT figure, Asuka. And then I also put Bayley on there because Bayley had such a relationship with that NXT crowd. I'm sort of putting Bayley in there as the figurehead for the early era. She covers people like Sami Zayn when he was there. She covers people like the Four Horsewomen, obviously. She was sort of the John Cena of, the pre-Finn era. That's Bayley, and capped it off with that amazing feud with Sasha Banks and those amazing 2 matches she had with Sasha Banks, the Iron Woman match, and of course their Takeover 1 match. So I think Bayley's relationship with NXT, and that's why a lot of people are saying, "Oh my God, Bayley's going to be the biggest thing when she comes to main roster." Main roster had no idea what to do with her.
None. It should have been so easy.
And yet, she is still wildly popular on the main roster, and she still has a massive ceiling on main roster. But yeah, that's my Mount Rushmore.
Asuka, number 1. Not 4 Asukas.
You gonna have 3 Oscars there?
Asuka, as you said, iconic.
Yeah,
she is the greatest champion in NXT history.
the icon.
Finn, for the same reasons you said, he was kind of the one who really pushed NXT beyond strictly a developmental program to this kind of
Its own third brand.
Yeah, its own third brand, pretty much. And then I put Shinsuke on here. He was the evolution of what Finn did. I will always remember we went to NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 2. Is that the one we went to? 2. 40% of that audience had Nakamura shirts. I never seen a crowd like that. He won the title. Everybody in the corridor after the show was singing his theme song. I have never experienced anything like that at a wrestling show before in my life. He wasn't in NXT as long as a lot of people, but he's probably the most popular wrestler to ever come out of NXT.
Wasn't Shinsuke there for like a year?
Roughly.
Yeah.
But Finn was there longer than that. Kevin Owens wasn't. And then I'll put Tommaso Ciampa, same reason to you. He is the motor behind the greatest feud in NXT history.
In possibly the greatest era. I'm sorry, this era, like you bring guys like Keith Lee and Matt Riddle in.
Yeah. And
Just
Ciampa stands tops. Yep.
Like the talent level right now,
It's crazy.
is unheard of. And then you bring in people like Chelsea Green, Britt Baker. I mean, dude, come on. Ugh, it's stacked.
It really is.
Stacked daddy.
And
right now.
they're gonna add more people, I'm sure. Yeah. Next, Ryan Rugani, his first Matt Chat question. Let's see what Ryan has to say.
Awesome.
Hey, friendos, first ever Matt Chat here. With Survivor Series being a bunch of non-title matches, do you think there'll just be a bunch of interferences and no clean finishes? I sure hope not. Too sweet and a hearty handshake. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan. And welcome to Matt Chat, Ryan.
Welcome. Last year, I don't remember a whole lot of scrub finishes.
Oh, I loved last year.
It was good, but pretty much all the matches ended clean, if I remember correctly.
Let me take a look.
I don't recall any wonky finishes.
Oh, yeah. Well, they had the actual brand warfare match.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. He's talking about primarily about the champ versus champ matches.
Yeah. The brand warfare match.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Terrible.
That was horrendous. But
It
the
was
actual
funny.
champ versus champ matches.
Let's see here. We had nope, not
There
that
it is.
one. Oh, here we go. Baron Corbin, United States champion
clean.
versus The Miz.
Usos
Clean.
won clean. Charlotte beat Alexa Bliss, and then Brock beat AJ Styles.
Yeah.
So
Let's take a look at it this year. Let's say everything remains the same.
Here's the one wonky finish I would foresee. If we have Seth versus Nakamura, Dean will cost Seth the match. Probably.
I like that you are on Dean Watch 2018. You think he's going to cost Seth everything?
Yeah, everything. Or the specter of Dean will cost Seth everything. We don't really have Raw tag champions right now, so we don't know how that's going to play out. Nonetheless, I'd say if it's Lucha House Party versus Thebar, Thebar's going to get a clean win. If it's AJ versus Braun, Braun's get the clean win because he's going to be a newly minted champion. They don't have him lose to AJ right away.
It sucks for AJ.
Becky versus Ronda is kind of a coin flip how they'll do it. As long as they book it so both of them look strong regardless of the outcome, that's fine. But I don't really foresee across the board, wonky finishes. So people have to save face. They didn't really make a point of doing that last year, and I don't really think they're that concerned about it.
Boy, the only reason you might be when I think of Seth versus Shinsuke, I see Seth coming out on top. See, I don't. But then you have a lot of Raw victories. So
they haven't really been worried about that in the past.
They're gonna do it. They're gonna do a men's. They're gonna do a men's Raw. I'm sorry. They're gonna do a men's Survivor Series like 5-on-5. We already know they're gonna do a women's 5-on-5 brand versus brand. If SmackDown picks up both of those, right? If they pick up both of those,
don't try to do the math on who's going to win overall and thinking it's going to play out.
So Team Raw won both of them last year.
Yeah.
Okay. And the Shield New Day, that was good.
That was a good match.
That was a good idea too. Don't do the math on what?
Don't do the math in terms of how. What I've kind of ascertained for the 5-on-5 matches is that they don't care about the math of which brand comes out on top in terms of the grand scope of the show. They only care about the math of the individual stories in the individual matches. Because this men's 5-on-5 match, you remember the Team Raw eliminated 2/3 of Team SmackDown within the first 3 minutes. Nakamura was eliminated in 2 minutes, but it was all to push the story between Kurt Angle and Triple H. Nothing else in that match really mattered. Everybody had their little moment, sure, but the overarching story in that match was Angle and Triple H.
Were they keeping tally of which brand was up on which brand throughout the show?
Yeah.
They were.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's what I was doing the math on.
No, I know, but I'm saying in the long run that doesn't matter.
Well, nothing matters in the long run. I'm just talking about the show itself. It obviously does matter if they're keeping tallies. That's what we're talking about. So you've got Braun winning. I agree with that. It's probably going to be the case. You've got. See, I think Braun. I mean, there's as much of a chance of Drew getting involved in that match as there is with Dean getting involved with the Seth match. But I mean, Braun. Ronda Becky's got to be a scrub. That's got to be a scrub finish. Seth Nakamura. Dean's out there. I just don't know how much they want to do that. Because Urine says you think that he's going to do that at Crown Jewel also.
Yeah, man.
He's going to just haunt Seth.
He's going to jack with Seth.
All the time?
Yeah, man.
That's going to get old.
Oh, yeah, but they're still going to do it. That's storytelling to them.
Yeah.
Hammer the same beat home ad nauseum.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. No, I don't know. I'm looking for it. Regardless,
it'll be a fun show, yeah.
I loved it last year.
Yeah, it was fun.
Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn versus Breezango.
I'm happy they're keeping that the stipulation, the brand versus brand. Next, we got Joshua Martinez. See what Joshua Martinez has to say.
Hey, friendos, quick question. Going to class right now. So, how do you guys see the independent scene in a couple years right now? Do you think the hype around it will die down, or do you think it will be bigger than it ever was? I'll be interested to see what you guys think.
Thank you, Joshua.
It's going to be dead. It's going to be dead. In 2 years, are you kidding me? The indie scene will be wiped out. Wiped out. Impact will be gone.
Well, it's not really an indie company.
They treat it like it is.
Oh,
I don't know how much. We might be a more lucrative company than Anthem. Impact's going to be gone. WWE will they're going to snap up everybody, and so the indie scene is going to be left in ruins.
No.
Bunch of chumps out there in the indie scene.
As we've seen every year when WWE signs a bunch of people, that just creates more opportunities for people who have yet to break through.
Not enough talent in the world
to break
man.
through.
Not for what WWE has planned.
You don't know that.
I do know that.
You don't know that.
The Elite's
so every time,
gone to WWE.
Every time they sign somebody, someone else steps up. That's how it happens. It's been happening for years, and it's going to keep on happening. What happened? Whenever we go to a wrestling show or talk to people in chat, how many times do people say, "Oh, I'm going to wrestling school. I'm to start wrestling training. I'm about to have my first match." There's a lot of people who have a lot of real enthusiasm about being professional wrestlers, and not all of them will make it to WWE.
They're going to get signed up.
No, not all.
Yep. They're going to be
but
given
a lot of them
$25,000 a year guarantees.
A lot of them are given opportunities in the indies, and some of them will break through and become stars, and some of them become major stars. And yes, they'll eventually probably sign a WWE, but then there'll be a whole new crop of new talent ready to step up, fill those spots in the independent ranks, and it's all cyclical, man. It is all cyclical.
The actual answer is actually somewhere in between. Because here's the thing, I will tell you this: in 2 years, the Elite will probably be in WWE, and there will not even be close to anybody doing anything like All In.
Oh no, that's a singular thing.
That's because of so much talent right now that's out there. A lot of that talent's going to be gone, and it's going to be a while before the talent coming up is going to be able to properly replace the talent that's going to be going.
Well, I
in
mean,
2
if you're
years.
using your basis comparison to the Elite and All In, yeah, but
because that's what we're in right now.
I understand, but if there's that, which is the extreme of this hugely successful independent scene, but I'm talking about guys like Keith Lee, who 3 years ago he didn't really hear much about, but because there's always a lot of movement in the independent scene as far as people going places, there's probably some stars like Ricochet and several others who were getting plum spots in these larger indie shows. They move on to WWE. I imagine Ricochet's a bad example because the timing is not quite right. And then they move on to WWE, and it gives opportunities to people like Keith Lee to seemingly come out of nowhere and start putting these awesome matches together and getting on shows with these larger independent companies. And yeah, they eventually all go to WWE, but that creates opportunity for somebody else. And yeah, this All In thing is a once in a lifetime thing. This will probably never happen again while we're alive. But that doesn't mean the independent scene is unhealthy by no stretch of the imagination.
No, that's why I said it was somewhere in between.
All right.
What is kind of interesting, and I would keep an eye on, is PWG. They've always been ahead of the curve, and they're already in rebuilding mode.
Yeah,
they're already in rebuilding mode, building new stars.
Mm-hmm.
Where in a year, in 2 years, those are going to be the big guys that people are talking about. Are they going to be going to NXT 2 years after that? No, because they're going to go in 2 years as soon as people hit a lot of buzz. WWE's going to snatch them up,
if you see
put them in purgatory.
If you see a company like PWG in serious trouble, then you know something's going south with the indie scene. Next, Tim Spulak. Let's see what Tim has to say.
Brendos, Tim Spulak back with another Matt Chat question. And as you can see, I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2, and makes me think about groups or posses or factions. Now, if we were going to have a group on Raw and SmackDown that would make one unified group into one faction across both brands, who would you want to see in it? Who do you think would work best if there's already a faction that you could add on to, new cross brands? Let me know what you guys think. Too sweet, hearty handshake. Can I get you anything?
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
This is what we need. Call it the club, call it Bullet Club, call it the Elite. You got AJ, you got Finn, you got Gallows and Anderson. All the former Bullet Club members,
mm-hmm.
the alumni.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got the Young Bucks, you got Kenny, you got maybe Cody coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Think of that faction. Oh man. Oh man.
Yeah. Oh man.
Call
is
it the club,
right.
call whatever you want. That could span like NXT, Raw, SmackDown. It could span the entirety of WWE. I think that would be awesome. Toss Marty in there. I'm sure he'll go to 205 Live.
Apparently, so do we ever get any? Some Meltzer said Marty's contract is actually quite a bit.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
He's tied up for quite a bit longer.
Cody's a free agent at the end of this month.
Yeah.
Young Bucks at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And then Kenny at the end of January.
Yeah. So I went with the Undisputed Era.
I almost did that too.
Kevin Owens over there on Raw. Daniel Bryan on SmackDown. He's got a lot of Ring of Honor blood.
Yeah.
That's where these guys are coming from. And then you got the rest of the Undisputed Era there in NXT, ready to come up, divide, and then conquer all those main brand shows. Heck yeah, man.
That's undisputed.
That's undisputed. Look at that. They're right here already starting to dominate everything. Got a bunch of flipping toys here. We're grown-ass men.
Yep. Next, Josh Little. See what Josh Little has to say.
If the members of the Undisputed Era win a match against each other, who would win and why? Thanks, Brendos.
Thank you, Josh Little.
Thank you, Josh Little. The answer's it's Roderick Strong. It's Roderick flippin' Strong, man. Number one, you know why? Because this dude is double hard. Because he goes out there, nobody sells like that dude. He is so freaking
You only
tough.
sell when you're getting your ass beat.
He is so freaking tough.
You know you have to worry about selling? Adam Cole, baby.
He's a good seller, too.
Super kick. Original last shot.
Which last shot is it?
OG.
Which last shot is it? How much last shot?
Last shot 2.0. That's all you need. He
Hold
is the
on a
leader of
second.
Undisputed Era for a reason, because he's the best.
Let me ask you something.
He is a 3-time Ring of Honor champion. How many times did Roderick Strong win the Ring of Honor title?
His name was Mr. Ring of Honor.
You didn't answer the question. How many times was he Ring of Honor champion?
From 2007 to 2011, according to Wikipedia.
Well, I think he won it
He
once.
was champion the entire time.
He won it once, I
Do they
think.
have, where's championships
Down
and
the bottom.
accomplishments? Ring of Honor. World Championship one time, but it was a very long time.
He wasn't champion for 4 years.
He was champion for 5 straight years.
Incorrect.
Ring
Cole.
of Honor World Tag Team Champion. 2-time television champion. Oh, and in 2005, he won Survival of the Fittest.
Congratulations.
He also was the second Triple Crown champion.
Congratulations. Not taking anything away from Roderick Strong. We're talking pure wrestling acumen. Yeah, maybe. But this is all kayfabe wrestling match. Adam Cole is the star of a group of stars. Adam Cole goes over.
No, I mean, just because he's a really cool guy and they want to follow a really cool guy. Roderick Strong, double hard, triple hard, put him in there against Adam Cole. Hold on a second. Let's see who
Super kick.
Let's see who
Super
has
kick.
the Roderick Strong. Let's see who has
OG last shot.
Strong versus
Last shot 2.0.
Adam Cole. Let's see who has their series if we can figure that one out. Wouldn't it be on like Pro Fight DB or something?
Yeah, maybe.
Where's Pro Fight DB? Is
Adam
that
Cole.
what it's called?
Yeah, Adam Cole won in NXT, I believe, so Adam Cole gets the W. Next, from Velveteen's hairstylist. Let's see what Velveteen's hairstylist has to say.
Hello, friendos. Stephen Larson, back with another Matt Chat question. So, Stephen Larson, if you guys were in the wrestling business and you were a tag team, what era would you guys like to compete in, and what would be your gimmick? Let me know. Attitude era, would you guys like to be back in the rock and wrestling age, or the modern age? Let me know. Let me know what promotion you guys would like to wrestle for. Too sweet, hearty handshake.
Thank you, Velveteen's hairstylist.
Thank you, Velveteen's hairstyle.
So if we were a tag team, what would our gimmick be? Now, if you'd asked us this like 5 years ago, we'd be the Shit Twins.
True. Somebody gave us that name, but let's think of
And
something.
not in a complimentary fashion.
Let's go backwards. What would be our promotion? Where would we go? We have to decide.
Oh, Jim Crockett. Jim Crockett.
Okay.
And our rivals would be the Freebirds.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't want to go to WCCW because then we can rival with Prime Freebirds and the Von Erichs.
All right, that's fair.
Plus, you get to be down there in Texas.
That's so hot, though. Sportatorium was like a sauna. That sounds miserable.
Those Southern Bells, though. Ooh, boy. Yeah.
What would our team name be, though?
Well, let's see here. You had the Fabulous Freebirds.
We're a couple of California liberals. What should our team name be?
Oh, no. Something with dudes in it, maybe?
Yeah. The Thoughtful Dudes.
The Thoughtful Dudes. That's terrible. Hold
Wrestling
on
out of Berkeley, California.
The Thoughtful Dudes. That's terrible.
Yeah, it is.
I want to see some other list of WC. Oh, wait a second. Tag team champion. Here we go. Championship history. Let's see who the cream of the crop.
All right.
In tag team.
No, you can do that one.
This one here.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that goes back a ways. I want like 70s. There we go. WCCW, American Tag Team Champion. Okay.
Freebirds, Von Erichs, Bruiser Brody, Kerry.
Apparently, we would just be Super Destroyers.
We'd just be Steven Larson.
It would just be Steven Larson.
The Friendos. The Friend Dudes.
Oh, look at this name, the Long Riders.
Oh, that's good. What the Friend Dudes?
The
Friend Dudes. That's what it is.
Friend Dudes. We're dudes, but we're friends.
Yeah, there you go. Next up. What, you got something better?
Oh, man.
Flame Spitter. See
None
what
of
Flame
these
Spitter
people
has
had
to say.
names. They just use their actual names.
Usually it's just singles wrestlers joining forces for a tag
Coming on
team.
up. Team of Steven Lawson. They call themselves
The
am I
Friend
doing it in
Dudes.
like a Mid-Atlantic voice.
I don't know. Flame Spitter's next. See what Flame Spitter has to say.
Here comes Flame Splitter.
Hello, Stephen Larson. At the time of this recording, it's Halloween. And over the years, WWE has done a lot of impersonations or dressed up as other superstars. So what I want to know from you is, what's the funniest impersonation WWE has done? Thanks, friendos.
Thank you, Flame Spitter.
Thank you, Flame Spitter. Oh man, Shawn Michaels is Hulk Hogan. I think at that point when he was impersonating Hulk Hogan, he already knew that Hogan was like saying, "No, brother, one match I go over, that's it." And so he was immediately like, "Okay, cool. Where can I do like some really cheesy, over the top, cartoony Hogan impressions?" And they're like, "You don't want to like Shawn, this is a dream match. We want high drama, high intensity." Yeah, Hogan just said I can't win any of the matches, and there's only gonna be one match. So, can I just do like a Hogan impression? And then, by the way, when we have our match, it's gonna be cartoonish overselling. I'm gonna make him look like an asshole. Great idea, Shawn. So I think it's Shawn Michaels' impression of Hulk Hogan. If for no other reason than because it was just Shawn sticking it to Hogan.
Yeah, no, that's a good answer.
And you know that freaking bugged the shit.
That probably...
You know that impression, him being all old and stuff, that bugged the shit out of Hogan.
Heck yeah. I'm going to go with Jay Lethal as Macho Man. It's reverent. It's wildly entertaining.
Oh, it's great.
And it's hilarious. Just see his work as his Macho Man impression at All In.
It
was so good. The timing, his interactions with Brandy,
dude.
Everything across the board was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was great. Next, Stephen M. See what Stephen M has to say.
Couldn't say that too, fairness, like someone to it's the Irish linguistic expert back here with another match chat question. So I'm just finishing up at work, so I have a quick one. Halloween. So in New Japan, we've seen Halloween characters such as, I believe, Jason and Freddy and Leatherface and such be characters in New Japan. So if you were to book a Halloween themed pay-per-view, what movie monsters would you bring in? The likes of Mike Myers, etc., etc. Too Sweet, Hearty Handshake, Steve Shoulderlean.
Thank you, Stephen M.
Thank you, Stephen.
All right, here's my idea. Serial killer in your house.
Oh, no. Who would be in my house?
It's a small venue, dimly lit.
Oh, gosh.
Eerie music playing throughout, even during the matches. So take all the famous slashers and serial killers from movie history.
Mm-hmm.
For example, Mike Myers, Jason.
Yeah.
Freddy's not really a real serial killer. He exists in Dream World, so you can take him out of there.
Well, all these guys.
Candyman. Henry from Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Okay,
he goes over.
I have such a big.
It's a pay-per-view long gauntlet match. Henry goes over.
You can't. Number one, Henry would get destroyed by everybody here.
What's the creepiest movie about all these movies? It's Henry.
That's not the criteria for who's going to win, though.
Maybe it is for my pay-per-view. You don't know my criteria. You didn't ask.
Because number one, I don't have to. Because number one, Henry had his friend Otis helping him.
Okay, that can still be the case.
That was number one. Number two, but you didn't write it down here. It doesn't say
it's
Henry
a package
with
deal.
Otis. Number two, Mike Myers, Jason, and Candyman, and then you took out Freddy Krueger
because he's not a real person. He exists in the dream world.
But he kills people in real life.
Yeah, but it's only through their dreams, isn't it? If you don't fall asleep, you're not subject to getting killed by Freddy.
Yeah, that's true. But these are all like ridiculously over the top.
Hey, I didn't put
supernatural.
I didn't put
characters.
Pinhead in there because he's a dude.
He would fit more than Henry would.
He's a dude with pins in his head.
Isn't Henry based on like a real dude?
I think so.
Yeah, that's a scary ass.
Yeah,
movie.
it's a messed up movie.
Henry, that is a boy.
Yeah.
Serial
killer in your house.
All right, so here I go. I'm going to say we replaced the TLC pay-per-view with BTK. For those of you who don't know, it stands for Bind, Torture, and Kill. That was a dude who actually, they call him the BTK. That's dark.
It's messed up.
Although they call him the BTK Killer. That's sort of redundant. It should just be the BT Killer.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But my main event would be, my favorite horror character of all time would be Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw. So it'd be him, but then versus Robert Stack from Unsolved Mysteries. That guy scared the shit out of me.
Robert Stack did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because every time I heard his voice in that creepy music, I'd get freaked out big time.
Oh, Robert Stack was awesome.
They have an entire channel on Pluto TV.
See, that's pretty neat.
Of of original, not Dennis Farina, rest in peace. But man, Robert Stack. Dennis Farina died, didn't he?
I don't remember.
I think he died. But yeah, man, Robert Stack versus Leatherface, and then Leatherface goes over.
Oh, wow, you have the heel going over.
Robert Stack's terrifying, though. I think it might be more scary.
Over Leatherface?
Yeah.
Next, Patrick Sparks, B-Man. Let's see what B-Man has to say.
B-Man.
Hey, friendos, Pat here. So, was listening to the Bruce Prichard podcast, and the topic was when Triple H married Stephanie. One of the things that they were talking about is that somebody made the comment of basically, if he fucks this one up too, his career in wrestling would be basically over. Cheating on China, doing the whole same thing. Once a cheater, always a cheater kind of thing, But, let's say he did fuck it up, and maybe not cheating, but they broke up. They seem to think, Bruce and Conrad seem to think that his career would have been fine, and he would have kept on wrestling for the WWE. So I'd like to get your thoughts on if he did fuck it up back then, would his career have been over completely? Would he have kept going? What would have happened? And a little bonus, what if it happened today? Like the cheating or just some sort of anything, and they ended up getting a divorce. What do you think would happen? Thanks, friendos.
Thank you, B-Man.
Thank you, B-Man. So, an update on Roderick Strong versus Adam Cole.
You looked at 1 year.
Yeah, the most recent year, 2015. Most recent year they fought. Roderick Strong went over. Right, I'm going to keep on looking, too.
There you go. What would happen if Triple H and Stephanie had gotten a divorce? I guess this is a topic of conversation
Tears
on
would flow.
Bruce Prichard's show. At the time, WCW was still around.
2014, PWG 11, Roderick Strong defeated Adam Cole.
Whatever.
Oh, man, I'm killing it right now.
It's not NXT Adam Cole. That's
said-
Prime Adam Cole.
You said whatever.
Whatever. I don't know. That's my answer to this. I don't know.
Oh, no. In 2013, Adam Cole beat Roderick Strong by pin. Oh, no, twice.
There you go.
Oh, okay. And then Roderick Strong beat him, but by DQ. Oh, no. Count out. Adam Cole won. Oh,
And
man.
then-
Now it's all over the map.
Yeah, see.
This is clean, though. Look at that. It's clean. Roderick Strong beat Adam Cole clean.
Adam Cole's a heel, though.
Oh, I totally
Nah, it's
totally
NXT. Adam
win.
Cole's better. What would happen if Triple H stuff had gotten divorced? It'd probably been a little messy. I don't know if we wouldn't have derailed Triple H's pro wrestling career.
Triple H would be the president of New Japan right now.
Or WCW would still be around. He just would have went there with his buds.
Yeah.
It would have been fine.
So, wow. Hold on a second, though. That's a pretty big shift in history.
Oh, yeah, it is.
You're saying if Triple H and Stephanie would have had like an ugly divorce.
Yeah, like right after they first got together, like in the
in
late
99.
90s. Yeah.
Right? And then he's like, oh, the tension
And Vince,
is too much.
well, no, Vince is like so angry about it.
Yeah.
Fires him. He goes to WCW.
He takes Shawn Michaels with him.
Well, Shawn was retired by that point.
He'd come out of retirement because
All right.
he'd start doing stretches. So Shawn is then, Triple H is then with Diesel, with Nash, Hall. Where's X-Pac? He's WWE, so he has to come back too.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really matter.
It's a new NWO, the new World Order.
Triple H is so good at the mind of pro wrestling, the business of pro wrestling.
Well, then he plays the politics game backstage because Vince Russo fired. He takes over creative rather than Kevin Nash does.
Yeah, long-term vision.
That timeline's all
we
messed
would
up.
we would see such a renaissance in WCW.
It'd be like
creative.
NXT now. Really would be.
Yeah, except Triple H would be the champion the entire time.
Yes. Reign of Terror
It's
lasted
Reign of
15
Terror.
years.
Exactly, yeah. But it'd be so good. It'd be written so good.
Yeah, it'd be pretty good.
Once he got past his phase where he was doing stuff like not putting Booker T over at Mania. Anyways, moving on.
Next, Christopher Rampersad. See what Christopher has to say.
Hello, Stephen Larson. This is Smoking Weed Care Bear here. My question is, Cassie, your version of WWE wrestlers or any wrestlers in the movie Clue. This is your Care Bear here. You're smoking weed, Care Bear here. Gonna go back and have fun and party and smoke some weed every day.
Thank you, Christopher.
Thank you, Christopher.
This is a great question. I'll go first, Steve.
Okay.
How many times have you seen Clue? A lot or not very many? I used to watch it all the time when I was a kid.
I know I saw it once in the theaters.
2 + 2 + 1 + 1.
But I have enough of a memory of it
All right.
that maybe I saw it more times.
All right, here we go. Trent Seven as Tim Curry's character Wadsworth. He is the butler.
Okay, for Wadsworth, we'll go back and forth on characters. Mr. Bootiesworth.
That's good.
Come on, he's the butler.
That's good.
I like yours better, though.
Becky Lynch as Miss Scarlet.
I have Ginny.
That's good.
From NXT
That's
UK.
good. This is my favorite casting. Big E as Colonel Mustard.
That's good. I have Otis Dozovich. That was actually your suggestion.
Yeah, I gave that
for
to you.
Colonel Mustard.
I have Bailey as Mrs. White.
I didn't cast Mrs. White.
All right. I have Kyle O'Reilly as Professor Plum.
That's good. I have Tommaso Ciampa as Professor Plum.
Not bad. It's not bad. Charlotte as Mrs. Peacock.
Ciampa kind of looks like a professor.
Could be.
Yeah. I don't have him as Peacock.
And then I have Curtis Axel as Mr. Green.
He's the cop at the end.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
He comes in, he's the Fed, yeah.
Well, in one of the endings, yeah.
Isn't he? I thought he was a Fed in all the endings, but they just have like different variations on who did it.
Maybe. It's been a while since I've seen it.
I have Fandango as Mr. Green.
It's good.
Because he's a cop.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I went legit. Oh, no. Are we out of Matt Chat questions?
We're out of Matt Chat questions.
Oh,
Show's
no.
over.
Oh, well. Anyways, if you want to get on the action, go to patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Our reward tiers are listed there. The $20 one is where you can have your question on Matt Chat. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, we'll talk to you guys later.
Goodbye.